Facebook.
I forgot what I'm supposed to say. Just kidding.
Welcome to the River Park Dental Show. I am Dr. Phing, and this is my co-host, Macho Michael Morris. That's what you're supposed to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Chuck Norris.
I should go on here.
He's so tough, his beard has a fist that comes out of it to punch you.
It's something I'll show you after the show.
Oh, jeez.
But something you'll be like, why would I be interested in that? And then I'll say, because you
about
asked.
Dennis.
It's not about dentistry whatsoever. All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Welcome to the River Park Dental Show. This is Dr. Phing Saurer with Michael Morris.
Did you just practice the intro right before you did it?
I did 1 minute before.
All right,
Was
good.
it okay?
Yeah, well, I got a little nervous
I
when
don't
you
even know
said,
where I'm at right now.
I noticed when you said, what is the topic today? And then, how am I supposed to start this? I thought we were off to a rousing start. How are you this week?
Good.
Everything is good?
Yeah, the rain's not doing wonders.
Don't worry. It's Columbus and it'll go away. It only rains 8 days a week. Any new fantastic things in the world of dentistry from last week? I know we did a show, and then after that, well, we did our TV appearances, then we did the radio show, and then I saw a clip of you ranting about some dentist who did the, what is that dance called? What's the
it's
Kiki thing?
the Shiki challenge. I don't even know. I don't even know these people, Kiki or Shiggy or any of these people. But we had a dance. Yeah. And I failed at it.
I saw it. It was fantastic, actually. It was fantastic to see the heat you were putting off from that. I don't know who you were referring to, but you're like, he's doing a circle, I'm doing a heart. It's totally different.
Yeah. Well, apparently, if you do a heart with the dance, then you can go viral. So I didn't get that memo.
But you're going viral, right? But this dental dancing thing has become, it's getting out of control.
Is it?
It seems that
did you see my laser video? Now that one I think is more.
I asked you about the laser video, and I asked you how the boy in the video got the job, and it's your son. You didn't even audition anybody.
It was easy access. He just came in, said his little lines.
Is he a member of SAG? Does he get paid to do that?
Yes, he has an IMDb.
If he was wearing the cowboy hat from like Walking Dead, I would have bought it. He could have been Coral. But no, I did like that video. I saw more of your social media stuff going out, and then I just saw you doing a hate video about how much you didn't like that this guy went viral on, what was it, Kathy Lee or something?
Good Morning America. Yeah. I just failed at it. and I was making fun of the fact that I failed.
It was impressive. So no new big cases coming in. Just the usual everyday grind of teeth.
Yeah, let's talk something more interesting.
Okay.
How was last week's softball game?
First of all, let's not get into it too much. It's not softball game. It's the largest alumni event in the country. And how did it go? Let's just say the good guys finished in 6th place.
Okay, well, that's
out
not
of 10.
Too bad.
Out of 10, though.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what?
I didn't
you
know
the
out of
difference.
10.
Let me
that
tell you
changes
this.
everything.
This is what I found out. The difference between 5th and 6th place, do you know what that was?
No.
Which team lost first? So if you lost, like, let's say 20 minutes before the other team, you're in 6th place. It didn't go well. But the class of 94 rallied.
It was
Yeah, we're all old, and we're all getting hurt. It's fantastic.
You're not going to, it's probably just next year it's going to be maybe 8th. Right?
Maybe. But yeah, that was the highlight of my week, was that and getting hurt playing in it.
Yeah, I saw the bruise.
Yeah.
I diagnosed it.
You did diagnose it. The double doctor diagnosed, and your diagnosis was ew. So thanks for that. So now that we've covered our, what we've been up to, I think we need to cover questions that have come in from our audience.
Okay.
People are very interested in you. And
really?
I want honest answers. I feel like sometimes you skirt the issue.
It depends on the question.
I know. Depends. I want someone to send us a message, a count of how many times you say depends.
Jim's holding count.
Yeah. So far we've got 2 in. Okay, so these are from, I didn't read through these. These are submitted
So they're
Some
random
people,
questions.
they are random, so I don't
But you're
know.
randomly picking them, or you're just picking the ones.
Well,
you
they
like.
are actually in an order. I did have them bullet pointed here. First one is, what's one cause you feel passionate about?
Oh, so I always like being involved with the community, but a lot of the events that I like to go to revolve around helping children, families, and women that have gone through hard times. Like specifically, even like women that go through domestic violence, or women that have gone through a terrible death experience, and they have to raise kids alone, just because I've had to go through that experience myself. So it's something that
I don't know that we've covered that on the show.
Yes, we have, very briefly.
Very briefly, but you are.
I was a single mother because my husband passed away, so I had to take care of my 2 kids, and I was very fortunate and blessed because I had a good career, and I had a lot of support and family, and I realized that a lot of people don't have that. So it's important to make sure people that don't have that support can get it.
So that is probably your main cause, is helping women, right?
Yeah.
Not just in dentistry.
Well, I don't
know
want to
that's
just women because I like helping people, but
yeah, but women. I see the glint in your eye. You're like, really? I just mean ladies. Yeah, I didn't mean we had to cover that subject, but it is I know that about you. I don't think a lot of listeners know that you did survive that tragedy and had to raise your kids, and then you meet Timothy Bradley.
Timothy, yes.
Who I still loved his reaction when you introduced him to me, and I go, "Oh, you're Timothy Bradley."
Like, who's Bradley?
And he's like, "Who? What?" And I'm like, "Never mind. Listen to the show, fella." What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, geez, so many.
Do a radio show?
Do a radio show.
That's pretty up there right now.
Oh, geez. Well, I know it's the one that I always go by. Just don't be afraid to fail. But I'm always afraid to fail.
Well, believe me, when I get those text messages late in the evening, I'm like, she's not afraid to fail, but she's going to rant about it. Who told you that? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. That was so long ago. It was something because I'm although I'll take risks, I'm also still very cautious and I think things through, but also end up ultimately taking the risk because it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen if I fail? So we just move on.
But do you think that you overthink things because you're very meticulous? Like what you do
Absolutely, of course I overthink.
But how do you get out of your own way? This is my question. It is not a question that was asked. How do you get out of your own way? Because you have a lot going on, right? So you're a wife, you have kids, you have this practice, but you're also in charge of other people, like in charge of their life and their family. They're employed by you.
Yeah.
So there is that added pressure.
No, of course. There is always that level of, I don't want to fail because it's not just me that it affects. And not my family too. It's the people that work with me. So they have families and mortgages and things that they have to take care of too. So that is an added stress that I have on myself.
Well, speaking of advice, the next question is, what advice do you give your children?
Always listen to me.
Yeah. Does that work?
Listen to your mother. Yes.
That's
Half
the only
the
thing you tell
time.
them? You don't tell them like anything like motivational?
Well, they're really young right now.
Yeah, but that's when you want to plant that seed. I like to put pressure on my daughter and tell her like the entire world's waiting for what you're going to produce.
There's no pressure.
No, well, I told her that at 2. And she has time to like live up to that. If you don't tell them early, you're not doing them any favor.
No, it's basically listen to me, mind your manners, be polite.
Wow.
Be a good listener.
You should write a book of
First-time
motivational
listener.
quotes. What is the age range of your kids? There's a little bit of gap.
3 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the oldest was the one that was in the video, right?
Yes, the superstar.
Oh, also, by the way, I noticed that you changed that video. Where are the Wonder Woman gauntlet things? People need to see it on the internet. They should see. You know what this is? This is your Justice League version. Where
It's
there's
a little confusing. I know. Wonder Woman's holding a lightsaber.
No, but what I mean is there's the cut that the audience is seeing, and then there's the cut that we saw.
I can't remember what I showed you before.
You were not happy with it because you were trying to define, You said it's confusing because no one knows.
Oh, well, yeah, I wasn't explaining what was happening in the first video. So I'm like, people are going to be confused.
That's all right. It's much like this show. We never explain anything on this show why we're doing it. The next question we have, is there anything you'd want to change about yourself? And keep in mind, we only have 20 minutes till it's over.
Probably how much I worry.
Can you explain that in more detail?
I worry about everything.
Right. Like,
in detail.
The fact that you were arguing with me yesterday about you're not going to go back on television until you reach a certain milestone of your own. You're telling me that you're not going to do it, even though I've already booked it.
You did not book it.
I did.
Well, I don't have the date.
Yes, you do. Oh. You said I'm not going back on there until such and such
I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. The point is, you will be able to see Dr. Phing at the end of the month again on NBC, whether she likes it or not.
We just need to work on our angles.
Yeah. Let's see. This one says, you seem very busy. How do you balance raising a family and running a dental practice?
I don't.
Perfect. I would love to email this person back so they know the answer is you don't.
No, because I think sometimes people have that whole, like, you can have it all and you can do it all, and I there's only so much time in a day, so you can only give so much. So sometimes, maybe the practice gets a little less time for me. Sometimes my family gets a little less time for me. So it is always a struggle, but it's not perfectly balanced. But I do have a lot of good support, good friends that help me with it.
Which part? The life or the office?
Both. Like, the people I work with are fantastic. They help keep the office moving. They're really great. They take care of the patients, which is the most important thing. And then at home, my husband's fantastic, and my parents help a lot. And my kids are really good kids. So it's just, and we also have their babysitter, Leah, who's really fantastic.
You just gave a shout out to Leah?
Yeah.
Does she listen?
I think so.
She should.
She does.
If she wants to be employed, Leah, listen to the show. When you say some things kind of fall off, I mean, I know that you're not taking less precautions with patients or anything, but you mean the amount of hours you put in. You have to put in a ton of hours.
Yeah, so,
this, right?
So it's not just the practice of dentistry, it's more the business side that I may not have as much time for that week, but then I try to make up for it in the evenings after the kids are in bed. I'll log back in and then look at numbers and stuff like that. So it's like a 24-hour thing.
Well, I mean, you are an entrepreneur. You own your own plate, your own facility.
For some reason, I've never liked being called an entrepreneur.
I don't think most people like to. This is what I would find. Most people that want to be called an entrepreneur are the person that like sells those little toy ducks like at airports and things. Like they have like a gimmick. I made this one thing. I think that gets a really bad rap. But if you own your own business and you're employing other people, you are an entrepreneur, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with the definition. I think sometimes it just feels very, when I've heard people say, I'm an entrepreneur, it's like, it's almost elitist.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. It's always the thing that makes you draw back and go, I really hope you fail, just because you said it like that.
I never hope anyone fails.
Oh, I can't stand that. When someone's like, I'm an entrepreneur, so you don't have a job, is what you're saying. And they're always like, no, I do a lot of different things. So you're a 1099. That's the way I look at it. But you're an entrepreneur because you are employing other people, and you created something that produces revenue, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
For other people. I mean, I think you should really
by
embrace
definition,
that.
Yes, I am. But I don't go around telling everyone I'm an entrepreneur.
Well, no, because you're a dentist. First of all, I don't even think you tell people you're a dentist.
I don't.
You don't talk about being a dentist on this show.
Because you know what happens? I go out and everybody finds out that I'm a dentist, and then they start talking about some toothache they had, and they want me to diagnose it on the spot, and I don't have an X-ray.
You diagnosed my thumb, and you're
yeah,
not an
it was
orthopedist. I guess that is like a drawback to your gig, is that people always want free advice, right?
Well, I don't mind giving it, but I need more information. But I'm not in the setting to be able to give that information.
What's the worst setting that you've been in where someone asked you for dental information?
Oh, gosh.
It had to be like a restaurant or something.
No, I was at a housewarming party, and I was new to the neighborhood, so they invited us to their house.
You and Bradley Timothy.
No, I was actually a single mother at that point. So I was just by myself, and I walked in, and then the guy, some guy comes up to me and pulls out his x-rays because he knew I was a dentist. And then he wanted me to diagnose, and I was like, I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Wait, did he say, hi, I'm Bill, and here's what's going on with my back
I'm
molar?
sure. I think he just said, hi, I have some I heard you're the dentist in the neighborhood. Can you take a look at my x-rays?
What kind of neighborhood do you live in that you have people that have their
I moved out
x-rays?
of that neighborhood. I don't live there anymore, but I'm just...
Tell me the street name so everyone can avoid
No.
it. And it also narrowed down where this guy lives.
Oh, gosh. That's... So, yeah, I try to...
I was thinking it would be like in a restaurant. You ever see those commercials where it's always someone's having a problem with their denture or something like that, and they can't eat ribs anymore, and I figured there's never a dentist there to be like, let me help you.
No.
Oh, Jim's
Yeah.
got something. Jim?
Michael, he reminded me of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, carrying his
Oh,
x-rays
gosh, it's
around.
really nice.
Another movie reference.
Yeah. That's immediately what I thought of, that the guy had his own file with him.
Yeah, but he knew I was going to be there because I was able to identify me as the dentist in the neighborhood. So, obviously, someone told him.
Well, I hope there was no proctologist in that neighborhood. That is a terrible party, and you shouldn't be going to places like that. Jim, do we need to take a break real quick? We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and I think we've answered like 3 of these questions.
Really?
And the one that was terrible is the advice you give your children. We're going to be right back on the River Park Dental Show.
You don't tell Mia to listen to you? Or
I
listen to
tell-
your mother?
I would never say listen to your mother. I would say listen
My
to
mom
me.
said that. I thought it was good advice. Also, a great piece of advice and the best piece of advice I ever got from my parents. And former godfather Joe Bonanno of the Bonanno crime family agrees with this.
Also
Basically,
from Banana Republic.
yeah, from the Bonanno Republic. Take responsibility for your own actions. If you do something stupid,
that's a
don't
good one.
point the finger of blame at everyone else saying, it's their fault
Oh,
that
I
I
see
did
point
this
of-
something stupid. That person over there, it's their fault that I did this stupid thing.
I always tell
Take responsibility for your actions.
any kid that's talking to me, never take chances, never go swimming, and don't do anything wrong. And that should cover
Never
everything.
go swimming.
Never go swimming.
People can drown. There are sharks.
Sharks can bite you.
It's Shark Week.
Yeah.
Shark Week over.
It's Shark Week.
It's over, right?
Well,
Wow.
it's not just one time.
It's Electric Eel Week. They can get you too, and
Now
jellyfish
it's
can sting you.
octopus. All right.
Octopus,
Can
the
you
octopus.
bring us back? And then I've got this list of beautiful questions.
All right, we got about 10 more minutes. 10 and a half more minutes.
And I've got about 3 minutes worth of questions. Just kidding. Look at that guy. That guy's going to blow something up. He's got a hood on.
He's going to blow something up.
Looking at his shoes.
He's
All right.
out taking his after-lunch walk.
Bring
ready?
the king.
Here we go.
You're listening to the River Park Dental Show.
Oh my God, that was so good. You should do that again. The second take
You
is
are
always your
listening
best.
to the River Park Dental Show.
To listen to
with
the
Dr.
dulcet
Phing
tones
Saurer
of
and
Dr.
Michael
Dr.
Morris.
Ping. Doctor, we are going through the questions submitted, and so far you are doing at least a B+ job on these.
Oh,
All right, so let's
hey,
bring it on home
thanks.
today. The next question: why a PhD? Why 2 of them is what they should say.
I only have 1 PhD.
But
I don't
aren't you a
like-
doctor? Doctor isn't a doctor. or
My
a doc-
DDS is a doctorate.
Yeah?
My PhD is a doctorate.
Okay, but what is the doctorate in?
Honestly, I fell into that program. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to go to medical school, but then I really didn't. I was just doing that to make everyone else happy. And then
Whoa. Make who happy? Your parents?
my parents, my teachers, everyone wanted me like, oh,
Because you were like teacher's pet? Like, why were they
kind
paying
of,
that
I
much?
always was,
Yeah,
yeah.
you seem kind of nerdy.
I am. I
Yeah.
still am. Not.
So your parents were like super proud that you were going to be a doctor, and you're like,
You know, they were actually not the pushy ones. It was always like more school, people at school and stuff. Like even peers. Oh, well, you're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna be a medical doctor. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be.
see, I don't see
But my
that
heart
now.
wasn't in it. So then I took 6 months off, and I went and worked in a lab that did dental research with a dentist at Ohio State. And he was watching me one day, and he's like, "Have you ever considered going to dental school? Like, you have pretty good hand skills." I'm like, "No, I've never even thought about dental school."
Yeah, and that's weird that you're asking me that, stranger.
No, I worked with him.
Oh, okay.
So I looked into it a little bit more, and it just actually really made sense. And then he was like, well, if you're thinking about dental school and you're doing this research and you're really good at that too, why don't you just do the DDS PhD program that we're just starting? So
Can you say that again? The DDS what?
DDS PhD
Thank
program.
you. I just wanted you to do that
So it
again.
was a 7-year program that I went into. I signed up for knowingly, contract and all.
And how old were you when you did this?
22? 23. 22.
No, you have to. You're asking me.
I know. I think I was 23 because I graduated at 30.
Settle on
'Cause
22 and a half.
I took some time off from school in between.
Did you travel? What did you?
No, I worked. I was trying
Doing
to figure
what?
myself out.
Oh, you were on like a walkabout. You were trying to figure out what's going on with your soul, or you just got a job so you could pay for it.
Career-wise, yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I'm asking you. What did you do when you took that time off from school?
I worked in a research lab. That's what I
That
was
was your
doing.
job? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like you were working at Applebee's. That's what I was asking. Like
No.
you took time off.
No.
Have you been to Applebee's? That is not a question on
not
here. I'm just
lately,
curious.
But I heard the steaks are fantastic.
It is, and they smoke when they come over to you. I think we covered PhD. I think you're just showing off at this point.
No.
Let's talk about something that you do want to answer. What's your favorite thing to do that is not dentistry or dental related?
Oh. I don't have time to do anything, but if I had time, I love to play Candy Crush.
So it's not hiking or biking or any of that. It's Candy Crush.
You know, it's weird. Candy Crush is very relaxing for me, and like when I'm not working and always thinking, I just like need my mind to kind of just.
So you have a day
Space
off,
out.
and you're gonna spend 8 to 9
No,
hours.
if I have a
playing
day
Candy Crush.
off, no.
That's what we're saying.
Okay, if I have a day off, I'm playing with my kids. Like,
If they're not around,
why would my kids not be around?
because they're at work.
They're
I
at
want
work.
you to answer this like a person that is a human
like a
being.
like a human being.
Yeah, you're not working. What would you do? 4 hours of Candy Crush, then what?
I don't know. Maybe I need to go rediscover myself.
You need to take some time off from school and rediscover yourself. I just thought that was an odd. That's an odd
Well,
question.
what do you like to do?
This is not a show about me. Okay, what I like to do.
You like to sit in the dark in the basement and watch Netflix.
Like Batman. I've described this over and over again. I wait until the next day.
Oh, you like to go to the movies?
Yeah, that's like again another dark
I would
place
like
with a
to
screen.
read if I had.
The
I would like to
ability?
read if I could. If I knew how.
What would you? Now you've opened up another question. So, what would you like to read? Do you like to read research? Do you like to read?
No,
What
I
is-
read enough of that like for work. So
What is
I
that
like to
called?
read just fiction, fantasy, sci-fi.
What's that movie series called? There's 3 of those movies. It's like a real big book.
Twilight.
That's not what I meant. Have you read that?
Vampires.
Have you read the Twilight?
Unfortunately, yes. I read it when I was writing my dissertation for my PhD. During my breaks, when I would get so stressed out reading about immunology, I would start reading a Twilight book.
Then I have a new question. Are you Team Edward or Team other guy that I can't remember?
Jacob.
There you
Edward. Who wouldn't want to be a vampire? A vampire.
go. I don't know. That wasn't a question on here. I was just curious.
Edward.
And he's the vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw the movies.
You did.
Yeah. Was-
The last one was pretty good.
I was married at the time. Yeah. I'll give you the last 5 minutes of the last one. I was like, this is what
Yeah.
this should have been about.
The whole time.
The rest of it was just a bunch of sad faces and pouting. I couldn't take it. So we'll just put that down as your favorite book. Is the Twilight series.
No.
Here's one that's we got to go back to dentistry. I know you hate it.
Okay.
What's the biggest surprise you've had in your career?
Being able to open up in the Bridge Park location, because I searched for a location for 2 years while I was an associate, and I was looking at practices to buy, but nothing ever showed up, or the places that I had to go were really far out and not something that I felt like passionate about or was excited about going to. So I actually just drove by Bridge Park one day, and it was starting to go up because it went up pretty quickly, and that's when I just knew. It's like when you fall in love, you just know.
I don't know.
Do you
what
know
you're
that
talking
feeling? Like
I've seen a lot of shows where that happens, but it's not happened to me yet. So you drive by River Park. How did that work? They were just like, if you want to have an office here, that's how you figured out
no,
what it
I
meant?
just drove by it, and I remember hearing other doctors or dentists talking about how it's way too expensive. No one should really go in there and stuff. And they were really skeptical about it being successful.
And so you're like, I'm doing
So
it.
I'm gonna do it.
Because you know why?
Because I'm a risk taker.
Because you're an entrepreneur.
Oh.
You're welcome.
No.
At least I didn't bring my files with me.
If I came in next week and was just like, "Hi, Mike, I'm an entrepreneur," you would.
I would throw you out that window.
No.
I would not. I would have to do the
It just
show with
sounds very
Jim.
pretentious to call yourself that.
I agree with you, but I also you still have to kind of give yourself credit. That's why you're going to the Hobie Baker thing.
Lucy Hobbs.
Same thing.
But that's for marketing. That's not for being an entrepreneur.
That's what I can't wait for. I can't wait that you're there. Are you winning an award or you're just a speaker?
No, I'm a speaker.
So you're gonna talk about marketing at this thing in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Called the
I'm gonna
Hobie-
give everyone all my ideas.
It'll be great. What would one of those ideas be outside of dancing?
Come up with your own ideas.
Yeah.
Be creative.
Is that kind of like the philosophy test?
That would be my biggest advice. Like, stay true to yourself. Figure out what works for you in your practice. Don't adopt things that you think look cool because it might not work for your practice. It has to really be putting yourself out there. And most of my patients, what they like is that they will come and say, I kind of feel like I know you. And it's small snippets of me or of my life, but still it's just, I'm not looking at other people's stuff and trying to copy it. It's just what I am. It's original or creative, coming out from our own.
You can tell that you guys are making that stuff up as you go, but you're really engaged in part of it, which is what's cool. Because I see other people that are kind of forcing it. I'm like, so you saw that somewhere else, and you're gonna do that.
Well, that, and then like sometimes if you hire marketing groups, and it kind of, I can tell when someone has a marketing group that's like, say they're like they do dental marketing only, and it looks very almost generic, and it looks all the same, and it's like it looks very sterile. So I think you need to inject your personality into it.
So that's when you go out there. This is not one of the questions, but when you go out there, are you gonna take like some of this footage that you've shot and show people?
I don't know if I can, but I'll ask.
You own it.
I know, but I don't know if they have a place for me to.
It's the Hobie Baker Award. They're gonna have like projectors and things.
Projectors?
Yeah, very old school. It was alumni weekend last week in a very old school. I'm
What's
thinking
that thing
projectors
that was
and
called where you put like?
that was an overhead projector, or
Was it an overhead?
it was called opaque projector.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a little like.
Yeah, you could write with the Sharpie and all that.
Yeah.
We're taking it back old school at the end of the show. But yeah,
Your math class.
I was just curious of when you go to that. That wasn't listed here, but I think people should know that you
September.
are once again leaving town, and you're kind of an expert in your field. That's a big deal.
See, that's another word, expert. I don't ever feel like I'm an expert.
Well, I'm an entrepreneurial expert, so I just know how it
There's
goes.
way too much information to know to ever be an expert. At least I think.
10,000 hours.
Of what?
That's what, to be an expert, it takes 10,000 hours.
Oh.
Malcolm Gladwell, Google that, 10,000 hour principle.
Okay.
So if you spend over 10,000 hours doing your job, you're an expert. That's a real thing.
There's so
I'm
many
not making
aspects of my
Doesn't
job,
matter.
though.
You're an expert if you know more than the majority. So it's like the 1%. So if you've done over 10,000 hours of dentistry, you are considered an expert.
Then there's a lot of dental experts out there.
That I didn't say that you were the only. I said that you would be classified as an expert.
Oh. Okay.
So you learned something today.
Yeah, I did.
Right at the close of the show.
Yeah.
I feel
that
like I
was
gave you a
great.
gift.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
you're
you
welcome.
for the gift.
Yeah. Tell the nice people goodbye, and we'll see them next week.
Thanks for listening to the River Park Dental Show. You can also find us at the Bridge Park location, and then visit us at our website, riverparkdental.com, or call us at 614-689-8686. Is that okay?
You need to edit out that. Is that okay?